Do I just let the responsibility go? Absolutely not. Did I feel 100% wanting to record the podcast right now? I'm going to keep it 100% real with you guys, as I tend to do. No. Because Thursday means a few things. Thursday means my community call, which is awesome. Thursday also means jujitsu, which I have a massive, I can't say love-hate relationship with yet. I can say sometimes it's okay and hate relationship with. And today at jujitsu, we're rolling at the end, so typically it is the structure. Also, I just did the thing. I'm trying to get rid of my uhs. So if we want to start an count, let's get that right, because my whole thing is let's become good speakers. Let's become clear, communicative, concise, all of the C words. But anyways, so typically jujitsu class will consist of the drills at the beginning. So we're learning the sequences and all these different techniques. And then at the end, we roll. So that's the sparring, essentially, for jiu-jitsu. So I was rolling with this one guy, kind of going harder than I wanted to because I was going to run 6 miles after jiu-jitsu with my girlfriend. I didn't. I'll explain why. I'm rolling, and then I just feel some foot or arm or leg or fist just smash into my eye. And it's not the dude I'm rolling with, and it was the people kind of next to or near us that just collided. And now I have a developing black eye. I don't know if you can see or if you're watching. This eye here is a bit swollen. It might turn some pretty colors. I am not too excited about that. It's this really weird relationship I have with getting hurt, where practically speaking, I have kind of a weak stomach. Anything that swells or breaks and isn't supposed to, or pops or pierces, will sign me up to throw the hell up. I'm not a fan of it. And so there was that part where I can feel my eyes swelling and I touch it and I'm going, that's kind of the most disgusting thing ever. And then there's this really interesting part where I've built so much of my life on self-respect. That's very, very important to me. It's an absolute fundamental, pivotal piece of a healthy relationship with yourself. And that's been a core focus of mine for a long time. And so I treat myself like gold. I would say that's the standard of my relationship with me. I treat myself like gold. I look out for myself. I try to make every situation as fruitful for me as I possibly can. I also find that that's the best way that I can pour into others and do things out of abundance instead of out of scarcity and obligation. So I find that this self-respect has a weird inverse reaction. Maybe not inverse reaction, but a weird vibe, for lack of a better term, when I get hurt or when I hurt myself specifically. So it was funny. I was talking to my girlfriend and I said, yeah, this sounds kind of weak in a way, but I feel bad for myself. When I get hurt, I feel bad for myself. I'm going, is that the worst thing ever? I mean, I'm not going to let it spiral into just this self-pity bullshit, but yeah, I feel a little bit bad for myself. And she goes, well, it wasn't your fault, so at least you know that. And I said, yeah, I think that's why I feel bad for myself, because I didn't do it, and I got my friggin' eye clocked in half. So not too stoked on that, but I've also found that in moments where I accidentally hurt myself, it's a pretty visceral exchange, because I feel the pain of being hurt. Let's say I was cutting an onion or something and sliced my finger. Yeah, I can feel that my finger got sliced, and I'm going, oh, shoot, that sucks. And I also feel the other side of it, where I feel guilty as the person that hurt me. So it's almost two versions of me, one accidentally hurting the other one receiving that accidental hurt and feeling the pain or frustration or disappointment of it, but also feeling bad for the fact that the other version of me feels bad. Does this make sense? I hope getting clocked in the eyeball doesn't make my brain just not work anymore, but It's this really interesting relationship that I have found between me and myself. And I don't know, I honestly think it's reflective of something positive. But it definitely feels really weird in these times, and I think I find myself trying to maybe not work around it, but just process it and feel the disappointment of things. And genuinely, if it's just a black eye and it's just a cosmetic thing for a few days, I'm not worried about looking pretty on camera. It's more just I kind of take that heavily. And I don't really think that that's the worst thing in the world. I think today there's this big advertisement of taking everything lightly, not letting anything bother you. That was another now I'm really self-conscious. Not letting things bother you, not letting other people have any way on your emotions and what you think and what you do. And I get it. We've all been hurt quite a bit by other people, situations. It gets baked into your identity. And it doesn't feel good to try and build an amazing relationship with somebody and then it doesn't work out. And then you feel the pain of that and you go, I never want to feel that again. In this modern day container, and maybe this has always been around, but I think it's just amplified by kind of the comfort and lack of survival of today, you can do some pretty impressive mental gymnastics to avoid being vulnerable, to avoid being adaptable, to avoid ever getting hurt again. Now, I really think that this is a poor defense mechanism. It's not the smartest way to learn and adapt. I think the best way to overcome some form of separation or loss is to really sit with yourself, process what those emotions are, acknowledge the emotions, give the emotions as much time as they need, and then just don't allow the emotions to drive your behavior for the most part. I'm not saying that every choice you make has to be absolutely robotic, but at the same time, your emotions have not earned their license to drive. So your logical mind makes the decision so you can feel the pain of something and you can be that other version of yourself that lifts you up out of a hole, coaches you to be better, motivates you. I think this is a much more nuanced approach to loss, to processing pain, to just feeling the things that you feel. And I think it's really powerful to get to the point where your life has enough space that you've created to be able to process these things. Because it's work. It takes energy. It's never convenient. You know what I mean? I think it would be much more convenient to get hurt by somebody and then say, I don't want to be in a relationship ever again. Screw that. I don't need anybody. I'm just going to travel by myself. I don't want a family. I don't want any of this. That's all a defense mechanism. That's all the language of coping. That's not the language of pure intention. That's not speaking from abundance. That's speaking out of fear and scarcity. And like I mentioned before, I think the best way that we can speak and act and treat others is from abundance, right? And so there's this analogy that I like to use when it comes to this over defense mechanism kind of behavior. I use hearing. I value hearing quite a bit. Music and noises and verbal cues and the way that people speak, accents, dialects, all these things. It's very, very deeply ingrained into the way that I observe the world around me. So I value this very highly. If you think of your ears and hearing loss, I'm no scientist here, but if I'm correct, hearing loss is a physical defense mechanism to hearing too many damn loud noises. Or maybe it's some sort of degeneration of the tissue within your ears and whatnot. But you hear that a lot of people that went to war and whatnot, they lost their hearing because their freaking ears got blown out. And there's a point where your ears hear too many loud noises that they stop working. When you think about it, if loud noises are threatening, your body then adapts to not have those loud noises be threatening. So your ears, in a sense, get stronger and less sensitive. Pretty cool, right? Now loud noises are no longer a threat, but guess what? You can't hear. This is how I think the emotion of not the mindless human, but maybe the human that has not explored these ideas is going to operate. Because I feel that there's a threat to my emotional state when it comes to other people. I'm going to figure out exactly how to never have another person hold any weight over me ever again. And I just don't think that is that powerful. Because guess what? You lose the ability to experience the abundance of a real relationship that involves vulnerability. It involves the potential to be hurt. And I think that potential is a huge part of what makes things very meaningful. If there was no risk of what falling out of the sky was, skydiving wouldn't even be an action sport. It would just be a thing to do. Just jump out of a plane. Why not? There's no risk to it. If there was no risk of making the wrong turn and flying off the side of the road, people who love going 120 down the street on a motorcycle, that wouldn't be special. That wouldn't be daring. That wouldn't be exhilarating. That wouldn't get your adrenaline going. Because there would be nothing to the experience. There is no risk of downside. Starting the biggest company in the world, trying to make the most impact. You want to know what all of these things come along with? The potential of downside. A vulnerable spot within you that isn't weakness. That's, I don't know, the truth of the human experience, maybe. So when you think of what you want to gain out of life, you have to realize and appreciate the potential downsides that come along with that. To bring it back to this jiu-jitsu idea, well, I guess I don't really love the process that much, considering I've freaking sprained my toe, sprained my foot, sprained my ankle, sprained my eyeball, damn it. But at the same time, I recognize that along with those potential downsides, which they're not fully avoidable, but they're decently avoidable depending on how responsible you are and whatnot. But along with those potential downsides, I realize the upside of what kind of person am I going to be when I can walk around knowing that I have this non-fungible characteristic of knowing how to defend myself attached to who I am. Take everything from me. Steal my laptop, take my camera, steal the microphone, tear the shirt off my back, and I'll still have that. I talked to my community today, and we really dove deep into this idea of the fungible versus non-fungible characteristics. And I think, well, really my thesis is that spending time and energy on building non-fungible characteristics is one of the best pursuits that you can ever take. Fungible meaning transferable. So I look at somebody who is black belt in jiu-jitsu. They have a skill set ingrained into their brain. They have this breadth of knowledge in their brain. You can't steal it out of there. Their body has muscle memory that is ridiculously familiar with kicking people's ass. And that's attached to the person. This is non-fungible. This can't just be taken or stolen. This can't be given or purchased or sold. This is why it's so powerful, because oftentimes people put all of their confidence in things that are pretty damn fragile. Think of somebody that puts their entire identity and confidence only in their relationship. Well, you better hope to God that relationship does not go south, because you will lose absolutely everything if you do that. If you have all of your confidence based into your sick-ass Lamborghini, well, what happens when you get out of the damn thing and you walk into the store? Do you have any non-fungible characteristics that still hold confidence within you and hold certainty within you? Or do you just have a cool car? Or do you just have a lot of money? Or do you just have a high-paying job that's prestigious and people think that you're awesome for it? These things can be taken away. Now again, think of this person that is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, has that knowledge, has that skill. Take everything, and they still have that. Think of somebody that's spent their whole life building unbreakable self-respect and discipline and confidence, and they know that when they tell themselves to do something, they're going to do it. And they have real faith in themselves, and they say, you know what, if I really set out to do this, I absolutely can. There's zero doubt about it. You don't just take that away. The jiu-jitsu black belt, or the person with the self-respect and the discipline, it doesn't matter how kind they are. It doesn't matter how charitable they're feeling. They can't sell that to you. They can't give that to you. And I don't care how bad you want the outcome. You can't cheat your way there. You can't rush. If you got all the money in the world, you can't buy it. What a powerful thing to be able to base your confidence in. You want to know the potential downside? Is that it takes a long ass time to build. One of the members of my community that I was talking through this with, she said, yeah, I've been working on a non-fungible skill, characteristic, experience of taking a cold shower every day for months. She said it was a few months up to this point. I said, you want to know what's crazy is that nobody can ever take that away from you. It's impossible. That is permanently ingrained into your experience, and what a gift that you've given yourself. You get to look back on the fact of taking a cold shower every day, facing this difficult stimulus, learning how to calm yourself, putting your mind under the microscope, being on your own team to overcome something difficult for months. We're talking 90 days, 100 days. Do you realize what that data will do for your identity and who you think you are and who you think you could be? If that's not fuel, I genuinely don't know what is. Why do you think I run every day? Do you think it's because I care about the Austin Marathon, the Austin Half I'm doing in 2 weeks that I haven't trained for? No, not at all. But it's because I have developed a non-fungible library of experiences and knowledge and respect for myself and confidence and self-certainty that you can't take away from me. And look, we could include the potential for horrible accidents and things that happen way outside of our control. And if one day I can't walk, God forbid, then I'll still have that. I'll still have what I did, and I'll still have the desire to find a new way to continue building that within myself. This is why this is so important. If you find yourself only looking for these fungible, transferable, transactional wins in life, you're going down the wrong path. And I'm telling you, 1 million followers and dollars, awesome. Do it. I want the same thing. I want the 1 million subs on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't. Wink, wink. Not with my left eye, though, because it hurts. I want the $1 million. At this point, it's inevitable. I really don't have much worry about either of these things. But damn, those don't matter if I don't have the real foundation that's behind it. I was talking to some new friends of mine who are just absolutely tapped in when it comes to the business world and sales and all this great stuff. And that's just not my world. And it's okay because I do have a world that is mine and a skill set that is mine, but I'm learning so much and having these conversations, and I just realize how crazy it is to spend so much time mastering something and doing that through integrity. I said, yeah, I want to make X amount a month, whatever the number was. Make 100,000 a month, why not? But that doesn't matter at all if I'm not doing it in the way that I would be proud of. I can make $100,000 this month, I promise you. But I will not do that at the expense of what matters to me. So I probably won't make $100,000 this month. You see what I'm saying? The amount of brand deals and shit that I turn down. It's just easy money. It's easy cash. Cash in, take from the stack, let's go. It never freaking works. It just doesn't. And I hope that this can resonate enough, because the more people that truly get this, the more people that can grasp the idea of falling in love with the process and not the outcome, that's how the world's going to be a better place. The more people that can find fulfillments is the product of the more people knowing this. And it's not, fall in love with the process of just building a business. Zoom out a second. You're the project. You get it? You yourself, the character that you carry out through your life by walking out your front door and entering the world, that's the project. It's not business and social media. All I see is video after video on social media. People getting on there saying, how to become a creator. Oh, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do that. Sure, but what the hell does that do? You want to know what I was before I was a quote unquote creator? I was my own best freaking friend. I had learned thousands and thousands of days worth of lessons of showing up for myself. That's why I have some shit to say. You know what I mean? I'm here with my microphone and the camera talking to you because I learned something. Seek to learn. Seek to attach some rock solid character to yourself instead of just seeking the outcome. You want 100,000 followers? What the hell for? What's it gonna do? Is it gonna give you the external validation? Well, it's not gonna work. Because when you feel like shit and you look in the mirror and you feel like you don't look good and someone tells you, no, you look great. And you hear their voice go up an octave and you're thinking, dude, I don't believe that for shit. You're not going to believe other people's empty compliments if you can't believe what you actually, if you don't actually think highly of yourself. So don't try and skip to the external validation. It's cool. It's nice. But if I was posting videos, people said, man, you're the greatest, but I knew deep down that I was a piece of shit, it's not going to change that. If you want $1 million, well, great. Money is a beautiful amplifier. An amplifier is a very specific word here, because if you suck ass, $1 million is just going to make you suck more ass. I promise. It's not going to change your heart. The $1 million, dollars. Oh my gosh, I just made up a word. I was going to say $1 million and followers. $1 million. Holy crap. This is amazing. This one's for the books. That's freestyle. That's just my brain doing its thing. $1 million is not going to change your heart. Someone write that down. Someone post that on a damn billboard. I'm almost paralyzed. I don't know what to say next because I just said dollars. That's the craziest thing ever. But again, I come back to the point. The outcome is not going to be the thing that resolves the angst that you feel. It's the acceptance of the process. Again, not just the process of making $1 million and building the business and getting 100,000 followers. It's the process of your literal life. This is where the human experience actually becomes human. You still got to get up tomorrow no matter who you are, what you have. I still got to get up tomorrow and run if I'm still going to remain the person that runs every day. If I don't do it tomorrow, well, then I don't do it. I did it, but I don't do it. Every day has that same responsibility to carry out. And look, this isn't something to be upset about. The process is the thing. The only way, think about this. Let's say you have 3 big goals in mind. Let's say one of them was crazy. I want to make $10 million in a year. And I want to reach this many followers on social media. So we got millions of dollars. And you want to be 10% body fat. Have an 8-pack, be jacked, be able to run sub 6 minute mile, whatever. If those are your true goals, and I mean that's as far as you can dig to figure out what's the biggest goal for you, you're fucked. Big time. Because those aren't good enough. Those goals are not big enough for what's the word I'm looking for? For the prerequisite. It's not the prerequisite, I guess it's just the requisite here that I'm about to share with you. Your goals have to take you to the last day you live, the last moment you live, for them to actually be a solution. So if you want to win gold at the Olympics, you better win gold on the last day you're around, or else you're going to be on the flight home from Beijing or whatever the hell, and you're going to feel empty. You're going to have no idea who you are because your entire life's mission just came true. Are you actually afraid of how hard it is to reach your goals, or are you afraid of what's on the other side after you do? I think it's the latter. That's the scary thing, because you know that if you gave everything to your goals that you would reach them. And the other side of that is a scary thing if you go in with the mindset that those goals are supposed to be a solution. What if those goals are just another ground zero to be excited about? You know, when you hit one plate on each side of the bar on bench press, oh shit, 135, sweet. Oh, and then you hit 225 for the first time. Whoa, now we're really getting into the gym now. Oh, and you hit 315. Holy crap. If you're benching 405, just leave a comment, because that's kind of outside of the realm of normal human life. And I think we can all understand that. So yeah, just show yourself if you're a 405 bencher. I've personally hit 315, 3 plates. I'll take it. But guess what? As soon as I hit 315, I was no longer at the top of the totem pole of the 225 and up club. I'm at ground zero of the 315 club. And that's how it works. But guess what? It's a beautiful ground zero if you go into that goal knowing that it's going to be the ground and not the ceiling. You're so high up in the ceiling that you break right through it and you realize that it's another floor. Damn. But when you expected that, you know how to continue moving forward. You know that it's just all part of the plan. You know that there's more to go because guess what? You've got tomorrow. So today, I believe, well, let's just ask good old Siri how many days ago, oh, she's not listening. How many days ago is June 13th, 2018? So it's 2,794 days ago. That's my run streak. So I've been running every morning since that date. I was 17 years old. Haven't missed a day. Even when I broke my foot and ankle complex, I was out there crutching a mile. So I guess if you want to discount me for that, then that's totally fine. But the crutching days were much harder. I'm going to reach 3,000 one day within the year. And you know what that day is really going to tell me? Well, you got another one tomorrow. Doesn't that feel so disappointing? No, it doesn't feel disappointing because I'm not thinking about 3,000. I'm thinking about how today is day one. Every day is day one. And if you think that you're ever going to reach day 1,000 and then you just coast on from there, you're highly mistaken. And I don't want to let you go down that path because it's a trick. And everything in this world is some sort of marketing telling you that you can find the solution. You can find the solution to your discomfort. You can find the conclusion to the resistance that you feel. Fake. It's wrong. You can't. And when you accept that, it's a beautiful thing. But guess what? Beauty isn't pretty. Pretty has bows and nice grass fields and rainbows with the pot of gold on the end. Beautiful is something that holds meaning. Every day when I wake up at 5 a.m. and I know that it's time to go sit in cold ass water for 3 minutes, life doesn't feel pretty. That was another I feel like that was a reasonable though. Life does not feel pretty in that moment whatsoever. Life feels pretty heavy. It feels pretty daunting. It feels pretty... Oh, it's funny because I'm using pretty. It doesn't feel pretty. Let's just put it that way. But I know that there's so much meaning built into that moment. I know that that weight is really worth carrying. I just know that the intimidation factor of that moment in the morning is something to overcome and not give into. And I know that on the other side of the 3 minutes spent in the ice cold water, man, there's something powerful. And every day I'm about to get in the water, I say, why? And every day I get out, the question's answered. And I don't need to use words because I feel the answer. This is something so powerful. And it's only found when you can embrace beauty, not pretty. The visceral feeling is the beauty. Me biting down on my teeth when I don't want to get in the water and shivering, that's the beauty. But it's not pretty. Going on a run and pushing yourself and crying tears down your eyes for an hour because you can't do it, but you make it to the other side even though you're saying you can't do it. That's beautiful, but it's not pretty. Trying to become an incredible writer and you punch the shit out of your notebook because the ideas aren't coming out how you want them to. That's beautiful, but it's not pretty. What if we started trying to make life beautiful and meaningful and heavy and intimidating instead of trying to make everything pretty and clear and clean and solved and concluded? What if? So that's my rant for today. All because my eye is a little bit swollen from jiu-jitsu. You know, the ideas start to flow, and I'm glad they do. I've done a couple of the just pure, not podcast day, impromptu podcasts, and it's fun. Because I hope through listening to this episode, you can just get a sense of where my mind is at and how I'm processing things and how this spell that we're all under to try and fix and solve everything right now, today, feel good today, it's such a crock of shit. And if you're on a difficult path of any kind, if you're on a heavy path of any kind, I hope that you can close out your phone for a second after you click subscribe and leave a 5-star rating and comment. That you can take a deep breath and just have some appreciation for your own courage to get to the bottom of the freaking barrel and just know really where you're at instead of trying to cushion your conscience with some mental gymnastics and comfort. So if that's where you are, I applaud you. Carrying out your life that way absolutely changes the world. Makes life better. But it's only through work. If you're going to feel energized and fulfilled, you got to spend energy that you don't have to refill yourself in a way. And I hope you have a great day. That's all I got for you. So if you're watching on YouTube, click subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Comment what you thought. I'd love to hear from you guys. On Spotify, you can leave that 5-star. It helps me out, I think. I guess. Maybe it's a nice testimonial when people click on the thing to say, oh, a few hundred people think this guy's got something to say. Let me check it out. And comment on Spotify as well, because I love to hear from you. If working through these things that I've talked about today is something that is very central to your life right now, if the discipline and the confidence and the understanding and the self-respect and just this relationship with yourself is more important to you than maybe those around you make it out to be, just know that I have a couple of resources, one of those being one-on-one coaching, where I deliberately, intentionally, and in a very deep way teach people how to build unbreakable discipline and confidence and self-certainty. It's something I get more and more excited about every single day, because when people want to take that step into that journey, I just know that that person is ready to actually change their life, and that does not just end with them. That goes out into the world, and impact is a huge priority of mine. So that is such a powerful process. If that's something you're interested in, you can book a discovery call with me at the top link in the description. My community, where this whole entire conversation came from. To be quite honest with you, I'm kind of reiterating a lot of the things that we talked about, but it just stuck with me so heavily. And yeah, I'm kind of chewing on these ideas regardless, because of the, what's the little saying? Train of events? Something of events. I hate when that happens. I almost got through. But the play out of my day mixed with those ideas, that's where this whole thing came from. So if you would like to join that community, we're doing a deep dive call on all kinds of different topics and ideas every single week as a group. I lead the conversations. I respond to every question in the community, on the feed of brilliance, we'll say. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. If you would like to be a part of it, you can click one of the other links in the description to book a similar call, just in the direction of the community. If you want to subscribe to my newsletter, I send out 2 of them a week, writing my little fingers off. More so typing, to be honest with you. How cool would it be if I could just hand write newsletters and then send them out? I'm sure I could. Don't want to, though. Because writing is hard. But now if you want to subscribe to my newsletters, link to do that will be in the description and show notes. And if you're eating dinner tonight and you've got your phone in your hand, throw that damn thing out the window, because it's no phone dinner. You know the rule. How are you going to eat your dinner and appreciate the present moment and be a human if you're scrolling, if you're typing, if you're watching, if you're listening to music, whatever it is? Give the tech a break and meditate. Be there with yourself or with your family or with your friends. All beautiful options. Now, I'm going to admit, sometimes it's movie night and whatnot, and I'm not going to eat my dinner at 9 p.m., so I'll mix the two. I know it's criminal, but I'm upfront. And any time that it makes sense, the tech is away and dinner's happening, and life becomes a little bit more beautiful. It's funny how I think I said that's all I got for you maybe 5 minutes ago, but my mind just keeps on rolling. So let's stop there. Have the best day ever. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.